Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been an interesting last couple of days. I have gotten so much trolling that it's ridiculous, but it's been so interesting seeing it all. And because of that trolling, I thought that I'd bring you my next video. My next video is about what we all have seen, what we all saw on TV. We saw front runner RNC, or actually, I guess he is now he is the selection for the Republicans. Donald Trump gets shot in his assassination attempt. So I thought that I would go down the rabbit hole in TikTok to see what people are actually saying about this assassination attempt, right? I have my opinions. I believe it was staged. It looked very, very, very staged to me. And in my opinion, Donald Trump has never been a courageous person. And I don't believe it was true, but it's okay. It's okay. There's a lot of people out there that don't believe it was a true assassination attempt. Actually, what most people believe is that it was something that Donald actually did to himself to gain interest and to hype his MAGA cronies and followers up because too many people were talking about Project 2025. Now, if you haven't heard about Project 2025, keep a lookout because I have a video coming up because I asked AI a couple of questions and had it compare Project 2025 with The Handmaid's Tale, obviously. And so I have a video coming up about that as well. But let's go back to the staged attempt on Donald Trump's life. So let's get into some of these videos. They're all very interesting from different perspectives. Let's take a look.
Okay, folks, I'm watching this just one more time. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, there's gunshots. Nobody's running. Nobody's screaming. Are y'all watching the same video? Okay, they're all sitting there, not running. I'm seeing the same video y'all watching. It doesn't make sense. Okay, they're just sitting there. Don't you think people will be running or protecting their loved ones? And if there's someone who's shot behind them, why aren't they helping that person? They're just standing there, sitting there. There you go. People still not helping this young man who was shot. They're all sitting down, looking, taking video. Don't you think if somebody was shot next to you, you would be screaming and letting people know that there's been someone shot?
Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the.
So it turns out we know who this woman is. The one who looks to be waiting for it to happen. She knew something was going to happen. And it turns out she's the assistant director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There is so much that stinks about this, but this really stinks. He wasn't supposed to be here today. This was supposed to send a message.
So if you look at the video, 2 shots rang out. And Trump grabbed his ear as if he was hit. But it wasn't until after they told him to get down that another 6, 7 shots rang out. Now, it took Trump a couple hours to get this rally started. What was he preparing for? Another question is, why was there no blood on his hands?
Okay, guys, I also captured this opinion piece in Pointner because it really asked a lot of the questions or brought up a lot of points that I was curious about. So it says, where's the official report of Trump's injuries? There's been no statement, release, press conference, or medical record. Voters deserve to know how he's doing, one columnist argued. Now, you guys, look at this bandage. Do y'all see this? Y'all see this bandage? Y'all see this? You see this bandage, right? Okay, so where's the medical report for that? So it's written by Tom Jones, and it was just written July 18th. And he says, isn't it odd that 5 days after a would-be assassin's bullet apparently grazed the right ear of former President Donald Trump at a rally, we have no official statement, release, press conference, medical report, or whatever stating exactly what kind of injuries that Trump suffered. To be clear, this isn't to question that Trump was injured. He had lots of blood coming from his ear in the moments immediately after we all heard the popping sounds of a gun and saw Trump wincing in pain and surprise. There is no proof behind the conspiracy theories that Trump was injured by anything other than a bullet. This also isn't to question the media, which seems to be trying to find out exactly what physically happened to Trump. Veteran media reporter Paul Fari tweeted Wednesday, still don't know the extent of Trump's injuries since Saturday's shooting, no briefing in 3.5 days. The day after the shooting, Trump wrote on his Truth Social that a bullet pierced the upper part of his right ear. Trump has been seen this week at the Republican National Convention wearing a large bandage on his ear. Trump's son, Eric, told CBS Morning co-host Tony from the RNC on Wednesday that Trump did not get stitches. Eric told Ducklepill, he was millimeters away from having his life expunged. I'm sure the ear doesn't feel well. Eric also said Trump had a nice flesh wound and the greatest earache he has ever had. The New York Times' Jonathan Swan reported on Tuesday that he spoke with Texas GOP Congressman Ronnie Jackson, who was Trump's White House doctor as president. Jackson was on the plane with Trump to Milwaukee for the RNC and told Swan that he changed the dressing on Trump's ear. Jackson told Swan the bullet took a little bit off the top of his ear in an area just by nature bleeds like crazy. The dressings bulked up a bit because you need a bit of absorbent. You don't want to be walking around with a bloody gauze on his ear. All in all, Trump appears to fine physically. He's at the convention, he's moving around as normal and seems normal other than having that big bandage. But USA Today's Rex Hupke wonders in a column, if there is a psychological toll from almost being killed. Hupke wrote, Trump may well not yet know the mental impact this horrific shooting had on him. It's difficult to be reflective in the wake of something life-altering like that. And because of the timing of this week's Republican National Convention, Trump chose to put on a tough face and move forward with his campaign. He's showing up at the convention in Milwaukee with a huge bandage on his ear, yet nobody knows his exact medical condition. So why does this all matter? Hupke asked some questions that at least should be considered of someone who is running for president of the United States. What specifically was his injury and how was it treated? What is his current medical condition in the wake of the injury? And has he been prescribed medication? If so, what kind? Will additional medical procedures be required? Has the former president had a psychological evaluation in the wake of the shooting? How is his medical team planning to address the possibility of PTSD or other psychological after effects? Is he planning ongoing mental health counseling? Hupke concluded with a 78-year-old man just went through a traumatizing event few of us can even imagine. Voters deserve to know exactly what happened and how Trump is doing in body and in mind. Biden has COVID. Speaking of medical updates, can the news cycle get any busier? On Wednesday evening, it was announced that President Joe Biden tested positive for COVID-19. He had to cancel a speech he was supposed to make at a conference in Las Vegas. Almost immediately, there were official medical updates. White House Press Secretary Carrie Jean-Pierre said in a statement that Biden was experiencing mild symptoms. She said Biden would return to Delaware to self-isolate, but would continue to work. Biden's doctor also said in a statement that Biden's symptoms remain mild. Those symptoms, according to the doctor's statement, were a runny nose, a non-productive cough, and general malaise. The doctor said Biden was taking Paxlovid and that his respiratory rate, temperature, and pulse oximetry were all normal. The day had already been a bad one for Biden. Earlier, another prominent Democrat, California Rep. Adam Schiff, called for Biden to drop out of the presidential race. Schiff said, while the choice to withdraw from the campaign is President Biden's alone, I believe it is time for him to pass the torch. The Washington Post Nicole Marcus has more details about Schiff's comments. And then there's more. There are reports that House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer both had meetings with Biden last week, telling the president that staying on the ballot could negatively impact races that could cost the Democrats in both the House and Senate. The Washington Post Tyler Pager and Michael Schurer have more. And CNN's Jeff Zeleny reported a new moment for Biden. One Democratic advisor says he's being receptive. A senior Democratic advisor reportedly told Zeleny that when it comes to Vice President Kamala Harris, Biden has gone from saying Kamala can't win to do you think Kamala can win? It is still unclear where he's going to land, but seems to be listening. Okay, so my concern is, why is it that Donald Trump is able not to provide any of his medical records, and no one's even talking about it, right? No one's even talking about that. But when it was found out that a doctor visited the White House 8 times, they were all over Joe Biden. Everybody was over Joe Biden. Oh, he should give us more information. Why? Remember that press conference? Why was the doctor there? But Donald Trump supposedly gets shot in the ear and crickets. We don't get to hear anything from the doctors. You won't release anything from the doctors. And it's still crazy to me that people are asking President Biden to drop out of the race when he has not been convicted of any crimes. He has never incited violence. Even that little tweet he talked about where he said bullseye. All of the stuff that Donald Trump talks about, I'm confident that Biden's one little bullseye word is minimal. It is very minimal. Also, get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think that this was staged? Do you think that it was real? Do you think it's odd that we haven't even received any information about Donald Trump's well-being, his health, his mental health? Is he okay? They're so busy looking at Joe Biden. And let's be clear, there's just a 3-year age gap between these two men. They are both 81. They're both 80. They are both 80. Trump is closer to 80 than he is to 70, and Biden is closer to 80 than he is to 90. So they're both old. There's no question here. They are both old men. But one of those old men has made his medical records, made us aware of his medical records. The other one is hiding behind whatever he's hiding behind, because we're not getting any information about this assassination attempt. But we all know that Joe Biden has COVID. And the only reason we know is because he told us. I know that the screen is too small and you read along with me. So I have included the link to that page in my description so that you can actually read it for yourself. Make sure that I read it correctly. And I know I stumbled on some of those words, but it is my first time actually reading on script, and it was a little disconcerting, but I'm going to get better at it, I promise. Anyway, if you've made it this far, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Every comment gives me some encouragement or tells me something. It gives me a way to move forward. Even, well, I don't want you to be mean, but even if it's not a kind comment, it helps me to move forward. And I appreciate every single one. Every view helps. So get down in those comments. Let me know how you think I'm doing and what I could do differently. Thanks again. Till next time. Toodles.